It's just really unique in the sense that there's no elevation change. It's flat. I guess I got out here a little too late, maybe a day or two. But there's always another chance, you know, when it comes back.
All right, drivers, just a reminder.
So we just saw a phenomenal Masters race. What do you think we're going to see out of the pro drivers?
Please do not make me decide the championship. 44 cars.
Turn 1, lap 1 is going to be the highlight of this race, I think. I mean, you know, if the leader gets away, it's going to be a little, it's going to be tough for the field to run him down. There's going to be a lot of racing. You really want to watch out for turn 1, passing opportunities into 3, into 5, through the bus stop. A lot of finesse corners on this racetrack. These drivers are the best in the world. We've got people from all over the place here racing, so a lot of mixed talent, and I really think that this is probably going to be one of the best races of the weekend, if not top the Masters.
And the pro field is on the racetrack, getting ready to go. Jordan Black joining us for this pro race. Jordan O'Brien starting on the pole position. Rasmus Eriksson. Rasmus had the fast time yesterday, won heat number 1. Can he pull the sweep, do you think, in that 44 car?
You know, I really think he can, and then we looked back yesterday, and if you watch his heat race, where he was starting last in his heat race and pulled out and passed about 4 cars before he got to turn 1, he's aggressive. He has the courage to make passes that, you know, most people wouldn't make. He has the experience from being racing on road courses for years now, so I think he is your favorite. I think Jordan O'Brien's going to give him a run for his money. Obviously, Cameron Morga, Jason Irwin, they're both very stout competitors, so I think this is a 4-car race, and we might see some other people come in here and mix it up, you know, if these 4 get to racing real hard.
And the balance of the field, we've got Lewis Tyrrell, Mikkel Carlson, and we got Jordan Dean, Mick Nyman, Noah Corner, Christopher Janssen, Doug Braddock Jr., Diesel West, Pete Solo, Mike Bliss, Charlie Corey, Jeff Mueller, and I believe Tommy Nibel was supposed to start in here as well with Tyler Hicks in the 6 car that you see on the screen. And we've got a couple of additions as well. Some of the semi-pros and young Lions who are going to make that jump next year to pro are in the field as well. I see Jesse Love in the field as well, and a couple more tagging on at the back of the field, and we'll get to those as we get ready to go green. How pivotal is turn number 1 going to be on this start?
Turn number 1 is going to either make or break someone's race. We got to be mindful of the toe that you get off of turn 4, the toe you get off of turn 11. If you break out by 2 or 3 car lengths and you're the leader, you need to make sure that you break that toe, because if not, like we just saw in the Masters race, there are plenty of opportunities for someone to suck up and get a good run on you. So that's going to be very vital to you know, getting a race win here. And I really think the midfield battle is going to be amazing. And then we'll also see the young Lions and semi-pros coming through the field a little bit here. So very interesting race.
And some of those drivers have really a nothing to lose attitude, just trying to get some laps in here. So we'll see some of those come from the rear of the field. There is the 38 of Love.
Right, just a reminder for you semi-pros.
And right behind that's Connor Mosak. I believe that is in the 18 car. Remember, so there's a driver who just came off the racetrack. He's won, so I guess he's expecting to win, right?
Go out there and get experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough getting through this many cars, but I really think that, you know, he could make some good headway. And this for him is all about experience heading into next year, getting to know how people race in the pro division, because it's a little different.
Going to be a great measuring stick against these pros for the 2019 season, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Pace Truck is going to get ready to pull off here, working through turn number 10, the final race of the afternoon for the Road Course World Finals. We'll remind you to stick around following. We'll have some presentations to get out of the way, but this is the final race before we head across the road to the Bull Ring next week for Asphalt Nationals. Jordan O'Brien and Rasmus Eriksson coming through corner number 11.
44 in the box at the yellow cone. Guys, please do not make me get in this championship. You do it all on your own. Take me out of the picture, please. Good luck, have fun, 10 laps, quit pushing, guys, all the way to the box.
And there is the box, green flag is out, and looks like a pretty even start here. We'll see if anybody ducks out of line down into turn 1.
Yeah, look for Irwin to make a move right here. He's got very good positioning on Eriksson. Pretty smooth through 1 here. Ooh, O'Brien got a good run on the top. So we'll see how Eriksson battles back here. You know, he's got a lot of experience. I expect him to not make many mistakes this race where some other people might.
Jason Irwin tucking in behind Eriksson. Now Eriksson goes to the lead, and Irwin goes on the attack on O'Brien just behind. The battle for 4th race jump, but look at the run that Irwin gets down that straightaway into 3.
Yeah, and then these two corners right here before leading onto the backstretch towards turn 5 are going to be pivotal. So we'll see if O'Brien can get through here pretty fair and square and see if he can get a run down the backstretch. That's going to be pretty much the move of the race, all race. See if you can position yourself to get a good tow. It looks like he does. ERICSSON gets a little better run off of 4, but he should be able to suck up and at least maintain his connection with that draft.
And we'll see who gets to turn number 5 and then down towards the bus stop. Look at the run. O'Brien gets down to the inside. ERICSSON will fall to 2nd and maybe 3rd. IRWIN thought about going in there but could not make the move. And behind them, Carlson has taken 4th and is about to join this battle. And he's bringing some friends along with him. Top 6, top 7, all within a line.
Yep, and you know, this is exactly what we expected to see with this huge field that we have. There's a lot of people in the midfield who are going to be getting a very good tow. You know, we see the impact that the leader has on 2nd place and getting a tow, so just multiply that by 4 or 5 times with everybody 5th on back, and that's what you get, real tight racing throughout the whole field.
So now, if you're Jordan O'Brien out in front, you look back to those guys behind you. Do you look back to see where they are, or do you focus on your line knowing that they're going to get that tow down the front and back straightaways?
I think really what you want to do if you're the leader in this situation is just minimize your mistakes, focus out front. Now, once you get onto the straightaway like we see right here, he should break the tow. He's a little too close, ERICSSON is, so I don't think he's going to be able to do it this time. But when you're the leader coming down the front stretch or exit of 4 and there's a 2-car length gap behind you, you need to make sure you're breaking that tow.
And now Jason Irwin sitting in position number 3, trying to figure out where he wants to go. ERICSSON will go back to the lead. O'Brien will fall to 2nd. And now Irwin takes a peek to drivers right to the inside. And can he get to ERICSSON? ERICSSON controls this battle for the lead, but Irwin now on the outside through 2A, and they'll be side by side going down to 3 on this little straightaway down there.
Yep, and ERICSSON is eating this up right now. This is exactly what he wants to see, the 2 behind him racing. If he can pull away by about 2 or 3 more car lengths, you will not see the 9 or O'Brien be able to get that run down the back stretch or the front stretch. You see them side by side right here. This is really going to hurt their corner exit of 4. So I think that ERICSSON is definitely in the catbird seat right now. You see him get that run down the back stretch. Irwin's a little too far back to even think about doing anything. He might get a little bit of a tow, but right now ERICSSON is in control of the race, and he should be able to manage it.
And ERICSSON has that gap. There's that battle for 2nd once again. O'Brien goes by, and Irwin, here comes Carlson to the inside, picks up 2 for 1, and Carlson moves to 2nd. O'Brien off the racetrack. He'll fall back to 5th, and fall 1 more is TYRRELL on his back bumper. That was a huge mistake.
Oh yeah, it was a big mistake. And you know, if you're 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place right now, you need to focus on pushing each other down these straightaways, catch back up to ERICSSON, get a run. That's the only chance you have of winning. If you continue to race, he's going to continue to pull that gap out a little further through each corner.
And now Cameron Morga has joined this battle in car number 54. We talked about him off the top, and he ran last night at the Bull Ring in a modified, came from the back of the field once, and he's doing the same thing here. He started a little bit closer towards the front of the field for this one compared to what he did last night, but he's right there in that battle for 2nd.
Yeah, he is, and this is a really intense battle right here. All 3 cars just trying not to make mistakes, trying to minimize mistakes. And now 2nd place, he's going to have to break this tow a little bit. Morga might be able to push Irwin up to him. He might make a move. Irwin's got a pretty good tow. And now we see ERICSSON closing back a little bit or falling back a little bit to 2nd place. So as long as the 2nd place car can be able to get that run off of turn 4 and stay in that tow, he will have a good chance of making a pass into 5 and through the bus stop.
Mentioned the battle for USA versus the world, and right now the world, and maybe more into it, is Sweden leading the field for 1-2, and then back to position number 3. Irwin has that spot, and Morga looks like he's going to take it away. Got a great run through that short stretch and right on the bumper, and as we said, the accordion comes back in. Now your top 4 are battling for the lead.
Yeah, and Carlson's in good position right here. If him and Irwin don't make contact or get real racy, oh, he drove it in a little too deep. He's going to wash. They're going to get side by side. That's going to hurt his exit. Irwin might be able to clear him. Carlson might be able to come back entering turn 5 right here. But as I said earlier, they had positioning on ERICSSON. They failed to sort it out through turn 4. That's going to hurt him for the rest of the race.
And now the 44 gets that run. The 9 of Irwin will move to 2nd. Carlson back to 3rd. And Morga now has an opportunity to try to get in there for position number 3. Can't get that move worked out before the bus stop. They'll hop a couple of curbs through the bus stop. And now Irwin caught right back up to ERICSSON with that draft. And he is there now. If you're Irwin, what do you do now? Where do you set up the 44 to try to take this one away?
I think your best option is exit of 11 down into turn 1. We see turn 1's a heavy braking zone. You can outbrake, ERICSSON into that corner. And now ERICSSON, all he's got to do is focus on getting through these corners clean. He looks like he's struggling a little bit with handling because you see IRWIN being able to pull right up to him through these tight and sweeping corners. So if you're ERICSSON right here, you just got to focus out front. Try not to look in your mirrors. There's a ton of pressure from behind, but we still have a long way to go in this race. I know it's only 8 laps, but this is a 2.4-mile course, so you just got to keep that in mind. And you see him going to the bottom trying to break the toe. It's a really high racing IQ move right here, and you see just because he did that, IRWIN is not going to be able to make a move entering 1.
And right behind them, Carlson in third. And we talked about the battle up front. This is the battle mid-pack corner, trying to go to the inside and try to pick up a spot down into turn number 1. Dean and Diesel West going at it, and Diesel gives a little shot to corner going down to turn number 2.
Yep, great battle in the midfield, and you see the leaders just ahead of these guys. Really awesome battle, and like I said, all those guys right there in that pack have just a giant toe. So we see a little breakaway in the front for a pair of 4 cars, and then this midfield battle, and that's really where I think at the moment the most intense battle is right now, because we see the leaders in the second pack just trying to take it easy. It's almost like Talladega a week ago. If you can get 4 people to work together and 4 people to actually try and extend the gap, you will be able to do that. So it's just all about timing and how well these guys work together right now. A little bit of give and take, but as I say that, IRWIN down to the bottom.
And makes a pass for the lead. ERICSSON back to second, and it's tight between he and Carlson as the U.S. driver goes back to the top, and the world now has to play chase in positions 2 and 3 through the bus stop. And it looks like ERICSSON's going to have a little bit of company in Carlson, trying to now take position number 2 away as IRWIN pulls away by 2 lengths.
Yep, IRWIN pulling away right here. ERICSSON is not going to have as good as a run as he wants to have down this front stretch. He needs to close about another car length and a half. But then we go back to ERICSSON growing up, racing road courses. I know IRWIN's got a lot of experience out here on this specific track, but ERICSSON has been doing this his whole life. So I expect some of that experience to come into play right here and maybe pay off down the long run.
Carlson trying to close in on the 44 of ERICSSON. MORGA keeping right with them, but it's IRWIN up in front. They'll come through corner number 11 and complete lap number 3. And you look back through the field there as the 44 of ERICSSON gets that run. He'll be to driver's left down into corner number 1. And there goes Carlson as well. What a battle.
Yep, Carlson's got the upper hand right here. You see IRWIN entered real low. ERICSSON entered real low.
And Jordan O'Brien off the pace. He pulls it to pit road, but here's this battle once again as MORGA looked like he was going to try to take third away, and they've got back to single file as Rasmus ERICSSON back to the top spot.
And that's that experience playing off that we talked about. You saw ERICSSON take IRWIN's line away, force him to enter lower than he wanted to. IRWIN had to back out because if not, he's going to lock up. He had a bad angle into turn 1. We said that's a heavy braking zone, so it's very vital that you get in there at a good angle, get a good run off of turn 2. So just like we said, that experience that ERICSSON has played right into his hands right there. That was an amazing move, great defensive move by him.
And now they go down the back straight away and see what they can do with the draft. It's ERICSSON up in front, IRWIN, Carlson, and MORGA, your top 4. And we've seen these battles throughout. We're going to go down the back straight away with the leaders, but we've seen some battles for 5th on back. We've seen some more behind there. So there's lots of racing action all the way around this racetrack in this pro race. And Carlson looked like he was going to try to make a move on IRWIN there.
Yeah, he did. He missed it right here. Here comes MORGA.
And that's going to slow both of them down.
Yeah, that's going to slow. And you see now IRWIN and ERICSSON, they're going to have an advantage here. These two might want to consider just taking it easy for another lap or 2, sucking back up to these 2 cars ahead of them. But it's very intense out there. You're thinking about racing the car that you're racing right then. So I don't expect them to do that. But looking at it from the outside, they need to do something to suck back up to those 2 leaders.
You saw that gap back to position at number 3 as there's that battle with Carlson trying to take it away from MORGA. And as you mentioned, MORGA's going to try to want to get up there and battle with the lead and try to draft up there. But on Carlson's side, he's going to try to want to get by with this deal right here. You have ERICSSON up in front of IRWIN, and I'm sure they want to try to get away from that battle for position number 3, but IRWIN also wants to win this race too, right?
Yeah, of course, IRWIN wants to win this race, but, you know, think about the big picture here. We're 5 laps in. IRWIN is staying with ERICSSON. They've been trading position each and every lap. So this is something that IRWIN needs to think about. There's 5 to go. Stay with him. Make a move with 1 to go, 2 to go. Set yourself up for the end.
Just saw Diesel West there heading off in the 21 as he was running inside the top 10 and might have made a little bit of contact as they get back on the racetrack. The 9 of IRWIN leads the 44 of ERICSSON down into turn number 3, and that gap seems to be shrinking a little bit between second and third, but it looks like it's manageable up in front for those top 2 at least at this point.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what ERICSSON does going down into 5. If they're side by side through the bus stop, 3rd and 4th are going to suck right up to them. They're racing very hard. They need to be conscious of what they're doing. Don't get your tires too hot. Don't overheat the brakes. Don't make a mistake. We're still only halfway through this race. Think about the end of it. Set yourself up for the last 2 laps and then start your attack from there.
And he gets him clear before turn number 5. ERICSSON down the back straightaway takes the lead back from IRWIN as IRWIN will now play chase to the 44 of ERICSSON through the bus stop. And look who has creeped his way back into the picture. Carlson just behind IRWIN and bringing a friend along with MORGA. So your top 4 continuing to put on a show and pulling away from the rest of this field. And they'll run into the sweeper this time. We'll see if IRWIN can make up any ground or set anything up out of turn number 11 for the 44.
Yep, and let's make sure we watch ERICSSON right here and see. I expect him to protect the top, maybe force IRWIN down to the bottom a little lower than he wants to be entering turn 1. Let's see what happens down into turn 1. Like I said, it's going to be an amazing tow by the 9. If the 44 can defend, the 9's going to be vulnerable to Carlson. So that's going to be a big advantage for him moving forward with 4 laps to go.
Carlson got a decent run off at turn number 11, and looks like he's going to be close to the 9 of IRWIN. Gets that tow down the front straightaway. ERICSSON, your leader. Here comes Carlson to the inside. He'll look at position number 2. Tight down into corner number 1, and Sweden back to the top 2 positions as Carlson moves to second.
And that's that road course racing experience. You saw him pull out halfway down the backstretch. He knew what he was doing. He applied the brake pressure perfectly. He didn't miss anything right there. He hit the apex. He entered low. He was in a very vulnerable position, and we didn't see him crack. So now, you know, it's up to him to go up and run ERICSSON down. And he just missed it right there a little bit. IRWIN gets back by. Now it's a 3-horse race for second. This is going to allow ERICSSON to pull away. We'll see if the tow comes into play right here down the backstretch.
And you miss it just a little bit, and you see it there as IRWIN goes a little bit wide down into corner number 4, and they just traded mistakes right there.
Yeah, and all that's doing, that's allowing ERICSSON to get away, you know, and that's why I was saying earlier, don't be so high intensity at the beginning of this race. It's a long, long road course with 2 long straightaways. There's not a draft like this in the U.S. with legend cars anywhere. So just be smart about it. Try and catch the leader. You know, you're not going to win this race by battling for second and third. You got to think about the big picture, think about the leader. Don't try and battle yourself out of this race trying to get second.
And there goes the 18 of Connor Mosak. He's headed off, and I believe that might be down the back straightaway there. That's a tough break for him, but still learning to race against these pros as there's your battle for the lead position. And they got back to single file, but they were at it side by side. Was Carlson, was the 9 of IRWIN, and MORGA in the 54, but now they've got back to single file racing. We'll see if they can't make any more ground back up in the 44.
Yeah, you can see Carlson's feeling the pressure right here. He's loose, he's missing corners, he's braking a little too late sometimes. Oh, big battle right down here, but he's braking a little too late, and we'll see what happens here if he can fix some of those issues.
Down the front straightaway now, it continues to be ERICSSON and Carlson in second. Jason IRWIN pouring the pressure on and going down into corner number 1. Little whisper of smoke there as there's the battle with corner and the 21 of Dean, and locked in the middle of that one as well. We got 3 cars going at it for that position. Is that the 09 car in the middle? And that's the 09 moving up from the semi-pro division. Zavadrin is trying to, you know, learn some things for the 2019 season, and he's going to school, but he's also picking up some spots.
Yeah, it looks like to me he's trying to teach Noah a couple things. You know, Noah's hasn't had a lot of experience on the road courses. Obviously, he has the 09 car, so we'll see how this works out for him. And now we're back to IRWIN, Carlson, and MORGA battling for third, and I believe this is almost going to seal up ERICSSON's win with 3 to go.
And MORGA right on the back bumper of IRWIN, pushing him down the back straightaway. Carlson has moved to second, and there's that gap that you see. And That's the battle for position number 2. IRWIN kicks up a little bit of dust down the back straightaway. MORGA is there waiting to capitalize on that one, and looks like they're going to get cleanly through the bus stop, out of the bus stop, and they're still battling for position number 2. And as you mentioned, ERICSSON pulling away just a wee bit.
Yeah, if I'm the 9 car right here, I'm going to make sure I push Carlton down the whole front straightaway. Don't try and pull out. Don't try and make a move. Close that gap to ERICSSON. Get that gap within its manageable, or where it's manageable, so that way you have a decent tow coming out of turn 4, and that way you put yourself back in the race. But ERICSSON, he's real smooth. He seems like he's lacking a little bit of pure pace, whereas Carlson, he's really throwing that car around. His stuff's hot. He's making mistakes sometimes, but he has more outright speed than ERICSSON does at this point.
And ERICSSON is going to come down out of corner number 11 this time, behind 2 laps to go. He's got company still behind him in Carlson, in IRWIN, and MORGA still sticking with them right now, but a little bit of a gap back, and Carlson got that tow down the front straightaway. Couldn't do anything down into corner number 1.
01.
Yeah, Carlson just needs to relax himself, look out front, don't focus in the mirror, run a little bit softer than you need to entering these corners just to ensure that you get a good exit. That's all he needs right here. There's 2 to go, very high pressure situation. We'll see if he can rise to the occasion.
And that was the 01 of Charlie Corey, rear bumper not attached, and he'll receive a black flag, but up in front. These drivers continuing to go at it. ERICSSON has the pressure. He can feel the pressure from Carlson and IRWIN. MORGA there as well. This one is going to come down to who can blink first and who possibly makes a mistake first. IRWIN on the back bumper of that 48 of Carlson can't make the move, but we'll see who gets the tow here down the back straightaway. Looks like the 48's going to run.
Yep, this is going to get very physical right here. We're coming to the white flag. This is for all the marbles. We've got 4 cars in this race. All 4 of these guys are excellent drivers. They've been doing this their whole lives. So we'll see how this plays out, because these are 4 great drivers and 4 greatly prepared cars. It's going to be very interesting, but I do expect a little bit of contact. Some body work may fly. It's definitely going to get physical on this last lap if they stay this close.
There's only room for 1 car in victory lane. Who do you got?
I have the 44 at this point. He's in 2nd place. I think he might be able to pull it off. It's anybody's race right now. I mean, it's pretty much split 25% chance between all 4 of them. And it's just going to come down to experience and where you time your pass.
It's USA versus the world, or Sweden versus the world, and it might be Sweden versus Sweden here as Carlson holds on over ERICSSON. IRWIN is there within striking distance. They come down to turn number 11. They're going to see the white flag this next time by. This is going to be key, the exit of 11 down the front straightaway. Final lap. Does IRWIN or MORGA have anything for these 2 Swedes?
Yep, I think so. IRWIN might be in the catbird seat right now. These 2 are going to get side by side. You see MORGA giving him a big shove down the front stretch. He's going to suck right up. Now ERICSSON goes back to the lead. If these 2 start battling, if these 3 start battling for 2nd, it's not going to... Oh, and you see MORGA, big run on the inside.
And Carlson is off. MORGA is up the racetrack, and now it's down to ERICSSON and IRWIN. Can IRWIN get that run and try to upset Rasmus ERICSSON? ERICSSON has been perfect all weekend long, qualifying, heat race, and he's trying to take the world final. IRWIN's there, though, isn't he?
Yeah, we'll see. Exit of 4 is going to be crucial. Entry to 4 is going to be crucial. You need to get through the bus stop, and then we still have this real long technical section before you get to the front straightaway, so you need to try and make a move before then.
And it looks like IRWIN just blew turn number 4, and he's going to have to get up on the wheel in a big hurry to try to catch ERICSSON now. ERICSSON up in front, IRWIN 2 seconds, so we had a couple of mistakes from those top 4, and it looks like it's going to shape the way this race ends.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, that's what we talked about earlier in this race. Just experience pays off. You know, MORGA, not a lot of road racing experience. Like I said, Carlson, ERICSSON, they've been doing it their whole lives. And it looks like it's going to pay off for ERICSSON. IRWIN's getting closer. We'll see who makes a mistake. But I don't expect the 44 to wash up the track. He's been stable all race. Expect the 9 to use the bumper a little bit if he has to.
Can the 9 get up on the wheel here of IRWIN and try to take this away from Rasmus ERICSSON? Final couple of corners, hopping the curb through the sweeper, through corner number 9. Looks solid, but IRWIN, you better believe, is going to send it here in these final couple of corners as they go through the turn number 10 down to 11. ERICSSON looks clean. IRWIN's going to have one more shot through turn number 11. Can he get the run off of 11? They come down the front straightaway. checkered flag will be out, and ERICSSON is going to go to victory lane in the Road Course World Finals. IRWIN was close.
Yeah, ERICSSON just too strong, no mistakes. That move by MORGA really upset those 3 cars. That kind of made the race for ERICSSON a little bit easier, gave him some breathing room, let him cool his stuff down, let us cool his brakes down, his tires down. So if not for that, it would have been anybody's race, but ERICSSON prevailed with the experience on road courses like we expected.
And as you heard in the background, this race is under review. Some things happening in the back of the field as well that they're going to have to take a look at, but there is your winner. Rasmus ERICSSON won qualifying, won the heat race, and goes to victory lane in the feature. Pretty much a perfect weekend for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what you call a hat trick right there. Awesome weekend for him. You know, I watched the heat race on the way here yesterday. The move he made into turn 1 to get by 3 or 4 rows of cars before he even exited turn 1 was amazing. So he's got the poise, he's got the experience, he's got the courage, and it was just a perfect weekend. It paid off for him right here.
And you look through the finishing order on the top of your screen, some of those semi-pros and young lions making their way up. Zavadris in the top 10 at the end of that one, so working his way up through the field. We saw Mosak out there as well, some drivers getting experience. Jesse Love, the young lion, in the top 10 as well. So it's been a great race, but man, oh man, those 4 put on a great show, and a tough break for the 48 of Carlson at the end. I think that's they're going to take a little look at that the last lap or so.
Yeah, I think so. MORGA, it was a really good move. I think he took it a little too far. He should have just passed that 1 car. He tried to go for another one and maybe even the lead. It cost everybody right there, not only MORGA, it cost Carlson the most, so I'm sure he's frustrated, but awesome effort by everybody. If not for that 1 mistake by MORGA, and it's not like it was a big mistake. These people are so close. These drivers are so close together. The field is so tight that it was anybody's race, and it just happened to come down to a lockup on the right front.
And I think it's starting to sink in now as you saw it on your screen. Rasmus ERICSSON is going to come back, and we're going to go down and chat with our winner, Rasmus ERICSSON.
Under review pending the decision of the accident in turn 2 after the white flag. 44.9, 54.74, and 8.60 turn into tech. Guys, come on, you're cleared across the racetrack, go to tech. Cleared across the racetrack, go to tech.
He's out of the car, Rasmus ERICSSON. Rasmus, you had a great battle with your countryman in Carlson. Let's talk about you battling with the 48. What did you have to do to keep him behind you today?
I mean, we had a really great run.